All right. All right. Welcome back to another video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me on all my socials, man. And yeah, help me get to 1,000 subscribers and help me get eligible on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. So, as y'all can see, my mood is kind of messed up because it is official. Carlito is a free agent. That is right. He is no longer part of the WWE. Kind of upset, to be honest, due to the fact that he was one of the funniest part of Raw. But I'm also upset with this whole run because what was the point of bringing him back, if you're just going to do that shit? So, growing up for me I had a lot of stuff going on growing up, I didn't look up to a lot of people because the only people there was to look up to in my life were not so good people. I fell in love with wrestling and I looked up to so many people in wrestling. The biggest one was John Cena, my favorite wrestler of all time. I looked up to him so much, man, and I loved everything he stood for, but I couldn't relate that much to him to a degree, besides I like rap and shit, and I want to be big and strong. Then there was Rey Mysterio. I related to him for a while, being a short guy, just always getting punked, but punked and bullied, but trying to overcome shit, And, then there was Jeff Hardy, love Jeff Hardy, man, the whole, shit. Like, who didn't love Jeff Hardy, bro? But then I remember Carlito. Carlito was one of those wrestlers where I was grateful that I got to watch him when I grew up, because at that time, I don't think I can remember one Puerto Rican during that time in that roster, bro. I can't. Carlito was the only one. And Carlito was so cool, bro. The way he was dressed, the way he had his fro, and he actually made me want to try apples. I don't like apples, but when I was, even as a kid, but I'll try it because Carlito did, bro. That's how cool he was to me, man. And it was pretty cool, man. And he accomplished so much. His first night on WWE, he beat John Cena for the United States Championship. And then his first night on Raw, he beat Shelton Benjamin, one of the greatest in-ring competitors of all time, for the IC title. And in that WrestleMania, him and his brother Primo win the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions and the WWE Tag Team Champions and shit. The cool design ones. He accomplished so much, man. And he was just really cool, and I love watching every time he would perform because it was so cool to see him perform, it really was, type shit. I really was a fan. And then as a kid, when you don't see a wrestler on TV and you know nothing about how the business works and you don't have a phone and shit, you either assume if you don't see that wrestler for a long time, they're taking a break, or they stop wrestling, because when you're a kid, you don't know what TNA was. You don't know what Ring of Honor was. You don't know any of that, And if you knew what TNA was and you didn't see them in TNA, you just assumed they stopped wrestling in general. Or they were still in WWE, just taking a long-ass break. But, I got older and then I realized Carlito was not a part of the WWE. And it was oh, wow, these wrestlers actually are not with WWE. They're a part. They're not even a part of it. They're doing their own thing. And I remember I was man, I miss Carlito. I wish he would come back. And I will watch YouTube videos of his indie wrestling, you know? And I was like, that's cool. Homie's doing his thing. And then I remember I started getting back into Carlito because I stopped for a while. I started getting back into watching Carlito wrestle when I saw how big and buff he got. I'm like, yo, this is Carlito? Like, whoa. I'm like, this ain't Carlito. This is dude that ate Carlito. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, this dude has the look. Like, he's big and buff. I'm like, if WWE was to get him, I think that he could be a world champion. That's my thought. Not too long after, I was like, I hope I see Carlito come back in the WWE. He did end up showing in the Royal Rumble. And it started because the year prior, I want to say, or the year before that, MVP came back. And I'm like, oh, snap, MVP is back. So a lot of people from his era got to come back. So that means Carlito, Chris Masters, Mr. Kennedy, those guys should come back. Those are legends at this point because, you know, they love to do that legend shit. So he came back. I just hated that it was during the pandemic era. He couldn't do the apple spitting shit, you know. And I remember he did his thing. He got eliminated or whatever. Then he teamed up with Jeff Hardy, Raw, for the next Raw for a week or two, and then he was gone. Then nothing happened. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. For a while, I'm like, man, I hope Carlito comes back. I really want to see him. Da-da-da-da-da. Fast forward, Damian Priest is going to wrestle Bad Bunny at Backlash in Puerto Rico. Now, I was already hyped for this because as a Puerto Rican, seeing that WWE is doing an event in Puerto Rico was like, damn, WWE is actually going to go to Puerto Rico and actually have an event there, PLE, you know? And the match card was dope. It was dope. You had Io and Bianca going at it. You had Damian and Bad Bunny. You had Cody versus Brock. Like, and I think that was the one where Omos went against Seth. It was so good. Bobby and Theory were in it. I think there was one more person in that match. I can't remember. But yeah, I remember that event. It was pretty dope. Rhea and Zelina went at it. Zelina had an amazing reaction. It was cool. And I remember I told myself Carlito has to show up. It has to. He has to show up. Nonetheless, you know, the match is happening with Damian versus Bad Bunny, Judgment Day doing their thing. Carlito comes out. All you hear is Carlito's theme song. He's helping LWO to help Bad Bunny and shit. You know, the crowd's going crazy. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I signed this man back. One thing leads to another. You know, he has his moment. Bada, bada, bada. He celebrates with everybody. Cool. Fast forward, we don't see him again. WWE still doesn't want to sign him. I don't know why. And then it goes to, I want to say, for some reason, I want to say it wasn't Fastlane. It was probably SummerSlam, but I doubt it. I remember it was in an event, a PLE. It was the Pride. This is Bobby and the Street Profits, and Ray and I want to say Dragon Lee or Santos or whatever. Needed a third partner or some shit. I don't know. And he comes back to a cornier version of his theme song. Like, you know what cool is? Dun 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 dun. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. But yeah, you know. He comes back to that. I was happy he came back. I'm like, okay, he signed a deal. That's what I'm talking about. Because up to that point, the reports came that he was signed to the WWE. But the reports were like, they don't know what to do with him. I'm like, just put him in LWO and help him become like a mentor to the other guys while also try to become a world champion. Like, it can happen. One thing leads to another, you know. He does his thing with LWO and he's there. Fast forward to WrestleMania 40 season. At this point, Dom is teaming up with Santos and La Familia or La Fantasma or whatever. And Carlito's still part of LWO. I think it was Dragon Lee. If I don't remember how this happened, but what I remember was either... Okay, so if I remember correctly, Dragon Lee got injured and got attacked by a mystery person. And ended up being Carlito. But if I remember correctly, it was right after he got attacked where Ray said he needs to find a new replacement for Dragon Lee. And before he picked Andrade, it was actually the fans actually chanting for Carlito, and the camera pointed at him. He had that face like, like, you know, they saying they think. I think that's how it went. Or maybe they wanted him to pick, but he picked Dragon Lee, and then he attacked him, and then Andrade took the spot. Either or, I do definitely remember before Ray made an announcement of who his tag partner was going to be, everybody was chanting Carlito. And at that moment, I'm saying to myself, listen to what the crowd is saying. They want Carlito, man. One thing leads to another. They have WrestleMania. Carlito does nothing. No heel turn, no nothing, whatever. Then it turns out he was the mystery guy that attacked Dragon Lee. And he leaves LWO. And he starts chilling with the Judgment Day. Up to that point, I was getting worried. I'm like, they're not going to do nothing with old boy. They're not. Like, no mid-card, no tag, nothing. Like, what's going on? Not even a speed belt. Like, the speed championship? I'm surprised they didn't give him that. They didn't give him nothing. Nada. But he joins Judgment Day, and he's a little funnier, you know. But he still wasn't doing anything. And then that happened, and that pissed me off. Fast forward, homie's trying to get with Roxanne, you know. No, not Roxanne, Raquel, my bad. With Raquel. And for some reason, it looked like she was finally about to, like, accept him for, like, a date or some shit. But it just didn't happen. I don't know why. But not too long after that, the reports came saying, oh, and this is when the Truth thing was happening a few weeks ago. WWE is not going to re-sign them, or it's just going to let their contract expired. And, yeah. When I heard that he was one of the names, I immediately wanted to do a video about it, but I just decided to do it about Truth because something told me not to. And of course I was right, because, well, about Carlito, because I did make the video about Truth. Go check that out. And Truth came back and all that, and I was happy. But then I'm like, wait, the same thing's not going to happen to Carlito. So I had to wait on Carlito to become a free agent to actually, you know, make this video. And now he is a free agent. I know he's doing pretty good with his dad's promotion in WWC in Puerto Rico. You know, he has the WWC championship. And from the looks of it looks like his brother is going to become heel or something. I don't know. I got to keep up with that shit. But with Carlito, man, he's very entertaining. I really thought he was going to become a world champion, like at least the world heavyweight championship. I thought he was going to capture that, but no. And then when I saw him do an NXT match with the LWO, I actually thought, hey, give him the North American Championship. You know, help him elevate. He helps elevate that title. You know, nothing, man. So now he's a free agent. You know, once again, he's no longer part of WWE. I hope the best for bro. Like, I really am going to miss seeing him. Do I see him going to AEW? Not really. I think he'll be a better fit for Ring of Honor if he was to go that route. He could join TNA, but, like, what's the point? The partnership is already done. AAA also has the partnership. Who knows? Maybe he could do New Japan. Maybe he could do GCW. Who knows? But most likely he's going to be in his father's company, promotion, you know, in Puerto Rico, which that's fine. Do your thing, man. He is the world champion there right now. So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't like that he's gone. I felt like there was potential there for this run, but it didn't go nowhere. I guess I just want to say thank you, Carlito. You represented us for a long time. Before there was Zelina Vega, before there was Karen Cross, before there was Damian Priest. We didn't have a lot of Puerto Ricans. I think him, his brother, his cousin, and Rosa, I don't know if y'all remember her. I think that was her name. We're the only Puerto Ricans there, but I don't, wait, is it? Well, I don't even know if Rosa's Puerto Rican, so I got to double check that shit. But yeah, he was the only Puerto Rican there for a while. And yeah, man, it's crazy. But thank you, Carlito. I hope the best in your career, man. Still gonna support Carlito. He's, again, I'm a fan of old boy. And yeah, man, that's all I really gotta say. I'm mad that he's gone, but he did give us funny moments. I just wish WWE would treat him like a main eventer that he was and is, in my opinion. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.